This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our WWE WrestleMania 38 Night 1 Roundtable review. I am here with my esteemed colleague from over at Post Wrestling, from the Kings of Sports podcast, from the N.W.A podcast. He was the winner of our African American fantasy draft of wrestlers, so we had to bring him on to talk about the civil rights leader, Cody Rhodes. He is Brother Nate Milton.
What's good, Sid? What's good, everybody, man? It's great to be back, man. I'm glad to be here with you early in the morning. You know, I realized that, a lot of folks might just be waking up, particularly if they stayed up a little late having them Steve Wises last night, but that's all right, because much like Reverend Devontae Rhodes, we're going to give him the good word this morning, Sid. So, yeah, let's get into this WrestleMania, my brother.
We are into the WrestleMania flow of it all. We want to thank everyone who joined us last night for our watch along as we watched WrestleMania 38 Night 1. We had Kid Behind the Mic, Michael, who was great. He was awesome. Even sent us $100 super chat donation to keep Ness awake and alive and kicking. We had Keemstar joining us, social media star. He's got his channel over there, Drama Alert. Joining us for feedback about Logan Paul in his matchup, his tag team matchup during the show. But there was a lot that went down at WrestleMania 38 Night 1, and we are here to discuss it. We might have more special guests joining us as we go along, but for anyone who's joining us right now, remember to drop a thumbs up on this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for more great content, because we're going to be back at it again for WrestleMania 38 Night 2 tonight. Our watch along is going to be joined by Kate Elizabeth Hensler of Fightful. She's going to be joining the crew as they watch Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in the biggest WrestleMania match of all time, AJ Styles versus Edge, RK Bro versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy, Pat McAfee, Johnny Knoxville in action, plus much more. And then we're back at it once again for a roundtable review, and this time we got Mr. WWE himself, Louis Dangor of Give Me Sports, going to be joining us for our roundtable review tomorrow. And as well, we finish off WrestleMania week with Romeo Mania, the man that has been on True Hill Heat content for 24 hours over 3 days. This man had to take a break for this one. I told him, I got it. I could run the show here. We got to give him a break so he has more energy for everything that's going down tonight and tomorrow night. So you got a lot of great content to enjoy, but we want to hear from all of you what you thought about WrestleMania 38 Night 1 in the live chat. We're going to try to highlight as many of your comments as possible, but of course your super chat donations is the best way to have your comment flash on screen. It helps the channel out so much. We are self-funded, so that goes a long way. We got CM in the live chat with us saying, adrenaline in my soul. Cody said, fuck you, CHK, you asshole. Great stuff. We got Brett Thomas in the live chat saying hi, SP3. He's also congratulating his boy, Logan Paul, on the great performance last night. We also got Matthew Lincoln here with us on Facebook, who says, will Rock return to cost Roman the match? We'll get into a little bit of predictions, or what's our predictions for night 2 of WrestleMania 38. But let's get into night 1. The kickoff show was basically 2 hours of just talking. 2 hours of there wasn't a match. There wasn't anything. Were you able to catch the pre-show, or what was your thoughts on like the pre-show just being specifically of video packages and the panel discussion?
I mean, two points, SP3. Like, first of all, if we had 2 hours to show all these video packages, did we really need to show all those video packages during WrestleMania? But that's neither here nor there. I'm not in Vince's pockets. I don't run Peacock. I can't tell that man how to broadcast his premium live events, SP3. But the second point is I missed it. So I was coming back from work, and I think this might have been the best way to watch night 1 of WrestleMania. So I got off of work at 8:30. So by the time I got back to the crib, the tag match with Ray and Dominic versus Miz and Logan Paul was just kicking off. So I missed a lot of the opening stuff and the pre-show and all that. I watched the Ray match, and then I went and had dinner during the Drew match, and then came back and watched the Bianca match. I think that's the way to really watch this show, y'all.
He's giving y'all the game plan, the playbook right here. This is the Nate Milton playbook right here. And I think he made the right decision because I made the right decision too, because I watched For the Culture while the pre-show was going on. So I was able to finally watch that, which was a great show as well. Go out of your way to watch that. Like I told the Patreon backers last night in the live chat, I'm going to do a comprehensive list for written work on Wrestle Talk, as well as for our Patreon backers, a video of the top 10 best matches that I saw from WrestleMania 38 weekend. And you'd be surprised, WWE delivered a few of them. WWE got a few of them that I will probably put in the top 10 that was from WrestleMania 38 night 1. But let's get into the beginning of the show. We kick things off with the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line. The Usos, the longest reigning champions, defending against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. I would say that the entrance for Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura was great in the stadium atmosphere. It felt like a rock show. They were sponsored by Mike's Hard Lemonade, but they had the nice little matching attire with the Mike's Hard Lemonade logo and stuff. That was very nice. But this one was really hampered by the fact that Rick Boogs, the difference maker or the defining moment of this was when Rick Boogs went to have the Usos on both of his shoulders for a Samoan drop, and then his leg buckled underneath him, and Rick Boogs was hurt during this matchup, and that basically took him out of the whole entire matchup. The Usos took advantage of this, double teaming Shinsuke Nakamura. They hit a super kick into the Uso splash for a near fall, and then they followed things up with the 1D to get the victory. Post-match, Rick Boogs was escorted out by medical officials and the staff, doctors, and stuff. So we hope that Rick Boogs has a speedy recovery. I know there were some people online that thought it was maybe kayfabe or work, but it was a real injury for him. So any thoughts on that opening tag team match that was really hampered by this Rick Boogs injury?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to that man, Rick Boogs. Hopefully, like you said, SP3, he has a speedy recovery. I think, because I did go back and watch the match, because I'm always here for some Uso tag team fun. I don't think the injury changed the outcome. I don't think the Usos were going to drop the belt regardless. But yeah, it is sad to see. And like I thought for a second, it was a work, man, because they had been teasing stuff with his knee and everything with the Usos on SmackDown. But then when you see the reports that it was actually a legit injury, it's like, prayers up to that brother. And this was a good way to kick off what would be a very, very long night of wrestling, brother.
Indeed. I thought what they did for when, before the injury was decent enough. But like I said, this was probably the worst match on the show, but that really came down to the injury. So hopefully Rick Boogs has a speedy recovery. We got some love for the tea in the live chat. Like the tea, brother Nate. Tell the people where they can get that post tea, sir.
Here's the thing. I don't even think you can get it no more. I think this is exclusive. I got that exclusive John right there.
Exclusive fit.
This is from our post-podcast day a couple years ago, which was the debut of the Nubian Wrestling Advocates on Post Wrestling. So, look, you can go to store.postwrestling.com to pick up some other hotness like the Rocky Maivia picture show. I know our good brother Andrew Thompson got a Bushby and Thompson shirt up there. And, of course, the W.H. Park Four Pillars shirt. So check out the Post Wrestling store, but nah, you can't get this, baby. This is exclusive.
Get that exclusive fit for us for WrestleMania 38 Night 1 Roundtable. I appreciate that. Alan Weinstein in the live chat. Thank you, good brother. Good morning to you as well. Saying good morning, SP3 and brother Nate. Night 1 was better than expected. That is for sure. We also got him saying, also, we got a few more people. Yeah, Brett saying exclusive. He's like, okay, exclusive out here. But let's get into the next match, which was Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with Happy Corbin. This one had Drew McIntyre had his working boots on. He threw out the high flying, the dive to the outside. We also had the Corbin brought his working boots as well as a very nice shirt. That was like the type of shirt you wear on vacation, and he was on vacation here in Dallas, Texas, but he hits his big move, the end of days, for his whole entire career since he debuted in 2014. No one has ever kicked out of the end of days until WrestleMania 38 Night 1, as Drew McIntyre became the first man to kick out of end of days, to a great reaction from the crowd and an awesome reaction from Corbin here, as you see the shock face. After that, it came down to Drew hitting the headbutt, then the future shock DDT, and then he hit the Claymore to get the victory here. Post-match, Madcap Moss tried to sneak inside the ring, but Drew McIntyre used Angela to cut the ring ropes in half. I was like, this was kind of unnecessary, but it was. I was like, what was the point? What did the ropes ever do to you, Drew? But I thought that this match was better than I expected in a lot of ways. I mean, we usually do star ratings, like I said, for the first match. Because of the injury, I didn't give like a star rating. I would have probably given maybe 1.5, 1 3/4, something like that. This one, I actually would give 3 stars, which is much higher than I had expected it to be. What did you think about Drew versus Corbin?
Okay, so and I do need to make a bit of a correction, SP3, because we like to tell the truth to the people, especially here on Sunday morning, man. And so technically, when I got in, the first match on from work was Drew and Corbin, and I made a business decision, SP3. I'm like, you know what? I could wait to eat dinner, but then it's like, I don't know what the next match is going to be. I don't want to miss Bianca. I don't want to miss Cody Rhodes if he show up. And I'm like, you know what? Every match is not equal. I'm going to go eat dinner during this Drew Baron Corbin match. And so I missed it. Like, I got back in time for the rope cutting. And I was like, okay, I think that's all I need to see here. But if you say it was a good match, I believe you, brother.
Like brother Nate was like one of those people, you go to the opening of a store, and the point of the opening of the store is when they cut the ribbon. You missed the whole speech, you missed the whole show, but you came back for the cutting of the ribbon.
Like, okay, I guess WrestleMania is open now. Okay, cool.
It was kind of like that, though, when we talk about the following matchups. But we got our good brother, Professor Chris, in the live chat with us. Easy Attack saying, hope y'all have a good show. I am going back to bed now. It is about 7 a.m. over on the West Coast. So we understand, Professor Chris. We appreciate you for that super chat donation, showing some love, setting the tone for the rest of y'all. We got to hear those super chats are very important. We got to come close to what they did last night on the live stream. They got like $150 because big old Michael kid behind the camera sent us $100 super chat. So it shows some love. $1 or more, we always appreciate it. Goes a long way for the channel overall. We also got Brandon. Yes, absolutely. Professor Chris, he was amazing on True Hill Heat 168. If you haven't watched that, Nate, that was a classic, with his UPN joke being one of the greatest lines in True Hill Heat history. Randall Burns saying, brother Nate with the Midnight Love radio voice. Absolutely, always brother Nate. Brother Nate, it don't matter what podcast I hear him on, he has one of the best voices in any podcast form, not even just wrestling podcast form.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Oh, my man N.W.A is in the live chat saying his finisher was so protected. It was he pushed for that for the end of days. Like, if he was gonna lose, he didn't want anybody to kick out of it unless it was a big moment. He saved it for a big moment here, WrestleMania 38, so it made sense, and it created a moment that will be remembered from this match. So that alone is the reason why I rated a lot higher than I thought it would. N.W.A also saying, I can't wait to see Finn Balor versus Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, 3 former Bullet Club leaders facing off each other. I mean, technically, Cody wasn't a Bullet Club leader. He tried. He tried, trust me, he tried to get it from Kenny, but he was never officially a Bullet Club leader. But 3 Bullet Club members, that would be very interesting. Would you like to see that match, Nate?
That would be dope. The only thing that would make it even better, SP3, special guest referee, Double J Jeff Jarrett in the building.
Absolutely. The WWE Hall of Famer and former Bullet Club member, Double J Jeff Jarrett. See, I'm saying Cody's pyro should be enough to justify releasing Ali.
Dang.
That was tough. That was a great comment, TM. I gotta give you credit, homegirl. You always killing it in the live chat, and that was a good one right there. But we gotta move on to the next matchup on the card, and this is where I felt like it felt more WrestleMania like after this, because you had the tag team encounter with Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Had to shout out Dominic with the old school Eddie attire, the American flag jacket from I believe he wore this at when Worlds Collide back in 94. So great callback, great tribute to his real poppy. And then they verse the team of The Miz and Logan Paul. And Logan Paul with the ultimate flex with the most expensive Pokemon card around his neck. Brother Nate, what about you? I just complimented you on your fit, on your joint that you're wearing. What do you think about their fit right here?
First of all, shout out to that good brother Swerve Strickland, who I believe on Twitter put Logan Paul with his Jet Set Radio looking ass. And I was like, yes, that is accurate. That is accurate. But I gotta say, man, like Miz and Logan, like they fits was nice. Like there were a lot of good fits on the card last night. So yeah, the wardrobe department was in full gear last night.
Indeed they were. But this one, honestly, I would say the MVP of this match, and I know this is going to make Brett Thomas very happy in the live chat, it was Logan Paul, yo. Like the leapfrog here, that was great. He had some awesome athleticism. They laid in some it kicks on Dominic Mysterio. Logan Paul, the best moment, the highlight of this entire match was Logan Paul busting out 3 amigos on Rey Mysterio, and then the little shimmy before he did the frog splash. Man, that was a great moment. He finally took the double 619 that they've been teasing on television leading into the match, but in the end, Miz gets a blind tag to Logan Paul. He hits the skull crushing finale on Rey Mysterio to get the victory. So Miz and Logan Paul are victorious. Miz hasn't won on WrestleMania in 10 years, Nate, since he defeated John Cena at WrestleMania 27 in 2011. So 11 years it's been since The Miz won at WrestleMania. He did it here with Logan Paul. And then he laid his ass out with a skull-crushing finale and became a big-time babyface. I think in WWE mind, he became a heel, but in my mind, in the fans' mind, because he got a big pop for this turn, he gave the skull-crushing finale, huge pop for The Miz after that. And even for me, as an MTV The Challenge fan, as someone that, became a fan of Miz in MTV, you had the Challenge Godfather, Mark Long, in the front row. And Miz jumped in his arms for a great moment for Challenge fans. So before I ask you what you thought about this match, we got a guest. I told you to be guests running in and out from the True Hill Heat community from outside. We got from the True Hill Heat has one of the most beautiful faces here on True Hill Heat. It is Wendy.
Hi.
What's up?
Good morning, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Good morning. I appreciate you. You're one of the real troopers, because you're the only one from the watch along gang from last night that has joined us this morning. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. But Brother Nate, what did you think about this tag team match with Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios?
Man, this was way better than it had any right to be. I feel like, Logan Paul, like he did his thing. They did a great job. Yeah, and you can tell, man, when WWE wants to do right by somebody, they do right by somebody. And they put Logan in a position to succeed. The brother worked hard. I do agree with you that they thought Miz at the end of the match was doing something heelish. ain't nobody trying to cheer for Logan Paul on these streets, man. So, like, to me, if they try to force Logan into this babyface role, it ain't gonna work. But yeah, like I thought it was a really strong match. There's a part of me that feels like this ain't over between them and the Mysterios. Like they're gonna run it back again. See, that's the problem with WWE. I credit them, but I also have to, damn them and sometimes because they can do something good, but when they hit on something, they're like, oh, people like this. They gonna run that thing into the ground. So we gonna get this night after Mania. We gonna get this at WrestleMania Backlash. We gonna get this, 6 more times. But yeah, for what it was last night, I thought it was great. Like you said, the real world moment. With your boy Mark at the end was cool. I only wish Coral would have been there to support the man.
You know, I would have popped if Coral was. Coral is like my childhood crush. Because Coral was like she
salute
put it
Coral.
on. Yeah, salute to Coral because she was one of the realest chicks in reality television history. When she was on the challenge and she said, "I don't wrestle. I beat bitches up." That's one of the best lines in reality television history. That's where Miz learned his promos from, ladies and gentlemen. Wendy, what was your thoughts on this tag team match?
To be honest, it was better than I expected. A lot of people didn't really, a lot of people were kind of skeptical about Logan and how he was going to be in the match, but people were very surprised. I was surprised myself. He really did good. I feel like he wanted to friends.
Running from Prince.
And hello.
Prince froze the stream.
He wanted to do good. And, it was a good match. The fact that Logan, he trained, he put in the effort into showing he can do really good in wrestling. It was really good. I agree with I agree with you guys. Like I really liked honestly I kind of expected Mike. I expected the Miz to do something in retaliation to with Logan because Logan was talking about. He was talking some trash, and he did say, and his brother did mention that Jake did mention that Logan was in for himself. So obviously I wouldn't be surprised Miz heard that. And he's like, oh, you was in this for yourself? Like, okay, So, and then the when he went towards to Mark, I was just like, oh, like, because I used to watch the challenge back in the day. I remember that part when with Coral, that was Inferno. That was the first Inferno.
Yes, the first Inferno.
I know. That was the first Inferno. So I know, like, that was really cool. That was a really cool, like, especially people that used to watch the challenge and know Miz's background and where he came from and like how he became huge. That was great. I actually really enjoy it.
We got CM in the live chat saying Coral couldn't be there because she would have hurt a lot of feelings. Vince, Charlotte, Ronda, Pritchard, Dunn. Respect. You did. You were right there. I gave this match 3.25 stars. I thought up until this point it was the best match on the show. And like I said, Logan Paul, I said this before, when we did our preview for WrestleMania 38, but Logan Paul honestly has a future in professional wrestling. Like I saw it from before, but this match really confirmed it for me here.
And it's a smart move for Logan, I think, because I feel like there's a ceiling to what he can do with the boxing thing, right?
Yeah.
Like how many washed up over the hill ex-athletes can you beat up, brother, before people stop paying to see that? So yeah, if he's really smart in terms of, I know people hate me, man. How can I get paid for people to hate me? Professional wrestling. And I don't like the brother, but like you can't knock the hustle.
Yeah, he knows how to play to the crowd. The facial expressions was there. So really, I think that he needs to stick with this. WWE realized that you turned the Miz babyface. You didn't turn Miz on Logan Paul, and Logan Paul is going to be the babyface. Logan Paul is very good at being a heel, and he showed it here in this tag team matchup.
Yeah.
I believe this was before. I don't know if I think it was before or after, but there was a little moment here with Stephanie McMahon coming out, and she introduced Gable Steveson. So I'll ask you, brother Nate, what do you think is the trajectory for Gable Steveson when he eventually begins his WWE in-ring career?
I mean, first of all, it was nice to see the savior and the birth mother of women's professional wrestling make an appearance at WrestleMania last night. All praise to Stephanie. But I feel like, man, the sky's the limit for this Gable cat, man. Like, dude has that legit background that Vince likes. He's got a good look. The only question is, like, there's two questions I have. Number one, what will creative do to this man? Because creative can be a crapshoot at times. And the second thing, obviously, you know where I'm going, SP3, being one of the hosts of the Nubian Wrestling Advocates. I hope, man, they don't stick him in one of them 5 categories that we've talked about that the WWE likes to pigeonhole brothers in, man.
Hopefully they realize that they have a legitimate athlete on their hands, someone on the level of a Kurt Angle or Brock Lesnar of the past, and they treat him as such.
Yep.
Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen, because they also brought in Mark Henry in 1996, and that man didn't get a real push until 15 years later. But Wendy, what do you think about Gable Steveson? Where do you think they're gonna position him in WWE?
I mean, I hope they, I hope they treat him well and know like his capabilities. I hope they don't put him like in a gimmick that doesn't fit him. That's not him. I mean, I hope he can, like you said, like he has the capabilities of being like a, like a Kurt Angle or something like that, and I hope he has that, but I hope he brings himself, like him, not try to be somebody else, as well as, I hope he could be like a good talker, and maybe have like a manager, maybe if he's not comfortable in like being a talker, maybe he can have somebody that can talk for him, until he gets comfortable enough to be like, okay, I can do this. Or maybe, like maybe have like a tag team that can, bring that out of him as well. You know?
We got N.W.A in the live chat saying Gable Steveson and Chad Gable become a super tag team. He's going to replace Otis in his eyes. Yeah. And yes, N.W.A, I'm calling you. You're our enforcer. He said it's so funny that SP3 keeps calling me N.W.A like I'm the True Hill Heat wrestling version of Arn Anderson. You're the enforcer. And he also has a very good question for us, which I'll ask Nate. Who had a better showing at WrestleMania? Bad Bunny or Logan Paul?
I feel like the degree of difficulty with what Bad Bunny did was a little bit higher than Logan's. Plus, he was the babyface, which I feel is a more difficult role to play than the heel. Like, it's more fun to be the heel. Both of them were good. I'll give the slight edge to that man, Bad Bunny.
Dude, I have to give the edge to Bad Bunny. Like I said, Logan Paul was a natural, but like Bad Bunny created something that would like I'm gonna remember that match a lot more than I'm gonna remember this from Logan Paul. I'm gonna remember this match for Logan Paul. Don't get me wrong, but like I remember the match itself because of Bad Bunny last year. So we also got CM here who says, I'm not getting my hopes up for Gable Steveson. She says he's black and I'm doubtful of WWE.
Hey, man, look, I think Wendy brought up a good point. Like, we don't know how the brothers' promo skills are, but, they could always bring in Kurt Angle. Like, here's my other black son y'all didn't know about. Let's get it popping.
Which Ash says, I know this is stupid, but it'd be a bit funny. But what if he is Jason Jordan's stepbrother?
Come on, let's go. Kurt Angle got around back in the day. Y'all just didn't know about it.
Hey, there's a reason why he wanted Queen Charmel so much, ladies and gentlemen. Want to do that bestiality sex. Come on, y'all. So, like I said, the Logan Paul match was the first match that really felt like WrestleMania because of that celebrity involvement. But as far as like the crowd investment, this is when WrestleMania really went up a notch and went to a different level, as we had the Raw Women's Championship all up for grabs. Becky Lynch defending against Bianca Belair. Big time Bex with the big time entrance, little video packages showing the highlights. It was like the WWE Then Now Forever, but for Becky Lynch.
That's cool.
She comes out in a white Rolls Royce, comes out the back seat because she don't drive. She had a driver pull her up, looking all stylish, Fashionista style, big time entrance, superstar entry for big time Bex. And then Bianca Belair basically put her manhood on the table and was like, I'm gonna outdo you. And this is probably my favorite WrestleMania entrance of all time. We had a HBCU band, the Texas Southern drumline band, bringing out Bianca Belair, performing her theme song. Bianca Belair dressed as like a drumline leader. This was just, I had a grin from ear to ear. This was for the culture. This was Nubia wrestling at its best, brother Nate. I love this entrance so much. Bianca Belair looking like a superstar entrance for both ladies, and I feel like that even got the crowd even more invested into this. One of the better build-ups going into WrestleMania, and you just felt the energy. Becky Lynch, she got her tears, but she was also booed. Yet Bianca Belair adored and loved by this crowd. They soaked it in at the beginning. So by the beginning, when they soaked this reaction in, I was like, oh man, it's not going to go 13 seconds like I wanted it to. But they did a nice beginning to this matchup where big time Bex, Bianca tried to shake her hand once again. Big time Bex punched her and went for the manhandle slam like she did at SummerSlam, but Bianca reversed into the KOD, but Becky reversed that into the manhandle slam. 1, 2, kick out, big reaction from the crowd, and this started the whole story of the matchup, which was big time Bex's desperation to get the victory over Bianca Belair and finally put her in her rear view mirror. She went after the hair as per usual, focus on the hair a lot throughout this one, but Bianca Belair showing off her athleticism, fighting back against everything. We had big time Bex. She even busted out big time Bex's own disarmor on Becky. Becky at one point does the manhandle slam on the steel steps. Great little leg drop off the top ropes. She also hits a somersault where she kicks Bianca right in the face. But the match, it comes down to Bianca pulling out the KOD out of nowhere after reversing the manhandle slam, and she gets the win and wins the Raw Women's Championship for the first time. So Bianca Belair has defeated Sasha Banks last year to win the SmackDown Women's Championship, and this year she beat Becky Lynch in what I thought was a fantastic encounter. I gave this one 4.25 stars. Really enjoyed this one a lot. Brother Nate, what did you think?
Yeah, man. At this point, this was the match of the night for me, and even by the end of the show, it was still up there for me in terms of best matches of the night. The entrances were great. Like you said, Becky came out. Like, I love how she had like the Then Now Forever, and she's just walking through it. Like, that was pretty cool. And then she comes out, like you said, with the new look, kind of got like a little David Bowie inspired Ziggy Stardust kind of fit. But then Bianca Belair, our sister, over the top, bringing out the HBCU band, Texas Southern University. And I love that they were doing their own thing, and then when her music came in, they were playing along to it. And a lot of times that doesn't mesh live, but it was great. You know, she came out like the drum majorette, and this was a great match. You know, I think I put it on par with the Sasha match from last year. I enjoyed it a lot. The only thing that I will say negatively is I feel like people are giving too much credit to the WWE, the let it play out crowd said. That's like, oh, this is why she lost so fast the last time, because it was all building to this. They didn't know about this when they did that damn finish. They didn't even know Becky was in the match till the Monday before the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't plan this out this whole time. They got lucky, they got fortunate that Bianca is such a star, Bianca is such a talent, as well as Becky, that they were able to craft the story that led to this moment. But this wasn't the original plan from the jump. But both women worked really hard. This was this was a great match, and were it not for something that was to follow, this is easily my match of the night, y'all.
Yeah, I love this match so much. Wendy, as the representative of women's wrestling on this stream here, what did you think about Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair?
I really loved it. I enjoyed it very much. Starting off with the entrances, like you guys said the Dead Now Forever. I was thinking more of Marvel, like
Ooh,
Becky's entrance, like
Yeah.
her video. Like it was very like Marvel's, like, you know, I'm about to watch a Marvel movie right now, but it's like the Becky movie. And I thought that was really I thought that was really cool. I thought that was smart, you know, just to show the different different aspects of life in regards to wrestling that Becky was in. You know, the evolution, evolution of Becky. That was really cool. And Becky coming out, you know, I gotta get used to that hair, even though, you know, she recently cut it. She was giving me, like, a lot of people kept saying, like, she was giving me, like, her look was very, like, anime. Like, she looked like some anime character. Somebody said she looked like she was about to sing Misery from Paramore, like the lead singer.
we got N.W.A who says Becky Lynch looked like a character from Cyberpunk.
Yeah, like she looked like she just came, you know, she looked like an anime
totally did look like
character.
Haley from Paramore, now that you mention that, Wendy.
Like, yeah, I was like, okay. And like her outfit, it was cute. Like it was very like queen, like an evil queen kind of, and stuff like that. And you know, Bianca looked amazing. I love that, you know, the band, I love that because it's basically part of who she is, like, you know, like from Tennessee, or, you know, like I love that. I love that, you know, I love that. It was so cute. And like her outfit was really cute as well. Like she looked adorable. The match, it was really great. Like I love how they tried to play into what happened at SummerSlam. Like they were trying to repeat that, but it's like, no, we're gonna go longer. And I love the match. I love the match itself. It looked like there was some close calls thinking like Becky was gonna retain. But you know, the fact that Bianca, she kicked out and stuff like that, and you know, she was putting in the work. Like I love that. I'm happy for Bianca. You know, the crowd, how the crowd was, how they were they were going for Bianca and stuff like that. And I give credit to Becky too, you know, playing that role as the heel and stuff like that. So I really enjoy it. It was definitely one of the match of the night. It showed that the crowd like was like so into, you know, that's like it built up, like it made me more excited for WrestleMania.
Like people love Bianca, and like I hope the lesson now from this SP3 and Wendy is, now that we've got Bianca back to where she was a year ago, let's not drop the ball this time, right? Like people want to cheer this woman. Like she is somebody, like you said, Wendy, she has this great personality, and like she connects with adults, she connects with kids, man. Like she should be one of your feature performers that you sending out to these talk shows, to these Make-A-Wish functions, to all of these outside events, because people love this woman, man. She's a star. Y'all need to treat her like a star.
Exactly. Treat her how she's been presented. And also N.W.A making a good point. I said this on the WrestleMania preview show, is that Bianca Belair is now 2-0 at WrestleMania. So I said it there. I'll say it here. The new streak. We need the new streak of Bianca Belair. And I think that the other major women's match for the championship later on this show sets up a very cool scenario for Bianca Belair's WrestleMania 39 opponent.
You saying she got to run through all these horsewomen like it's a video game?
Exactly.
It's so funny how the change happened with Bianca, how like in NXT, she was a heel. You can see how she was a heel at NXT, and then how when she went into the main roster, it kind of switched. Like it changed to like her being a face, and how people were so behind her. So it's crazy how that dynamic changed. from when she was in NXT to now.
Yeah.
And you kind of saw the change happening in NXT, like when she was interacting with like Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley in the lead up to WrestleMania 36 with the Charlotte, you don't go here stuff, and the fans were like behind her during that. You saw that change starting there, and then they just presented her as a babyface when she came to the main roster. They, you know, they didn't use her for a while when she first got called up during the whole pandemic because they really didn't have a plan for her then. But then when they moved her to SmackDown, that's when we started seeing that really focus on her, and they've been doing a good job up until SummerSlam, and then they've just been regrouping ever since then. You can say it was planned all you want. I don't think this was the plan from SummerSlam. That's Nate's point. That was what Nate's trying to say. When they made that decision to have her lose in 26 seconds, it wasn't to get her to WrestleMania. And even this victory, like we're praising it. My one thing is that she's not where she was when she made her entrance at SummerSlam. She's back to where she was when she beat Sasha Banks last year at WrestleMania, but they were doing such a good job with her reign. When she got out there to SummerSlam, she was greater than when she walked out of WrestleMania, but then when she walked out of SummerSlam, she was lesser than. We just need to get her back and establish this as a big run. Like there has, since Becky Lynch, really outside of Becky Lynch, there hasn't been like a long title reign for a woman on the Raw roster, at least, unless you're Becky Lynch or unless you're Ronda Rousey. We need that for Bianca Belair to really establish her.
Yeah. And the build up to it, the build up between her and Becky was a lot better than the build up from last year's WrestleMania with her and Sasha.
Absolutely.
Which is why a lot of people kind of like wish they would have built it better for when she had the match with Sasha. You know, at least they did it right this time.
Yeah. And I do think that like there's a way that you could have gotten to this exact same moment without doing the 13-second thing at SummerSlam, right?
Exactly.
Like that's always going to be my sticking point. Like you can say, oh, it worked out in the end, but it shouldn't have even started the way it did. You know what I mean? I thought that was disrespectful at the time to Bianca, and I still think it's disrespectful.
There was 1,000 other ways to have her like get screwed at SummerSlam to set this story up in a better way than what they did with that 26-second loss. We got the Negro Buck in the live chat saying, glad that all the matches I was excited for delivered. We also got Alan Weinstein, I see in the chat. Thank you all for joining us. We got N.W.A who says, I like to see she facing each horsewoman at WrestleMania with a great build to down to two down, two more to go. Hey, there was 4-2 in this text. That was a lot of numbers. That was a lot of numbers there, Ash. You almost confused me there. But we also got Negro Buck says, I'm right there with Brother Nate with how this started. Agreed all around there. But it was like, man, they was like, okay, we gave you that WrestleMania classic. Like I said, I gave it 4.25 stars myself. And then they was like, hey, we're going to come right back at you with another match you're looking forward to, as it was Seth Rollins versus an opponent of Vince McMahon's choosing. Seth Rollins came out looking like a preacher's wife with the cape and everything. He had his whole choir singing his song. The fans were singing along with it. Big time superstar entrance for Seth Rollins. And he waited in the ring as it was the build-up, the anticipation. Who would be the opponent chosen by Vince McMahon? Would it be his son Shane? Would it be WWE Hall of Famer inductee this year, The Undertaker? You heard many names, but there was one name that we were all looking for, one name that we were all building towards. It's the name that has been talked about the most in 2022. The Codyverse turned, as it was the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Not dashing Cody Rhodes, not undashing Cody Rhodes, not the legacy Cody Rhodes, not Stardust. It was the American Nightmare with full logo, the theme music, Kingdom. You had the wrestling has more than one royal family.
Yes.
You had the pyro, you had the lights go down, you had the Cody Vader. There was the Cody Vader. He came out to the goddamn stage. He comes out to a amazing reaction. My Lord, like if there was, the fact that he had a pop on the level of Stone Cold Steve Austin later on in the show says it all. And Corey Graves, I think, did a great job. I don't compliment Corey Graves all the time, but I think he did a spectacular job in just really telling the story here, talking about how he went from undesirable leaving WWE 6 years ago to undeniable as we got the version of Cody Rhodes that connected and got over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, in Ring of Honor, in AEW, and he was absolutely relishing in the moment. And then what followed was superb. These two men, two of the best performers in professional wrestling today, and they went out there and they got the time to deliver something special, and they did just that. This was a simple story with some great selling from both men. Seth attacked the ribs of Cody Rhodes, while Cody went after the arm. A nice divorce court arm lock drop to the ground by Cody on Seth at one point. We had the suplex where both men went over the top rope. Flying drop kick as this is where Cody's ribs was first injured as he came off the top rope and was caught with the drop kick. We got the Cody cutter in WWE, the springboard cutter from Cody Rhodes. His ribs was battered and he was bruised all over his body throughout this one from the damage dealt by Seth Rollins. He had an inverted suplex, an inverted version of his suplex into the Falcon Arrow. This time he does an inverted suplex off the top rope into a curtain call, which commentary didn't call it the curtain call. I would have, because that was a nice little ode right there. We got the buckle bomb, but into the guardrail after he caught Cody on a Hurricane Rana. We got a knee to the face from Seth Rollins, springboard knee to the face. He kept going for the pedigree, this pedigree that has been a big story throughout Cody Rhodes' end of his run with All Elite Wrestling, and he hits the pedigree for an awesome near fall in this one. Cody hits the crossroads for a near fall, but later he gets Seth, he takes him out, he gives him one crossroads, gives him another crossroads, and then he stops before the third one and loads up the punches. He hits the punches, the bionic elbow in an emotional moment, looking up to the sky to his father Dusty, and then one more crossroads to defeat Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes basking in the glory of it all. What a reaction from this crowd. This crowd absolutely loved Cody Rhodes, a man that got polarizing reactions in AEW, was treated like a returning hero in this one. After the match, he did put out wrestling is a love story, and this was his comeback, his love story here. You also had BT Sports with this great gem. Cody is hashtag WWE. And also WWE instantly released 3 new t-shirts for Cody Rhodes, all with the American Nightmare logo, even one with Pharaoh in it, the one that he's wearing. Just great stuff from WWE and showing that Cody is going to be treated like a top star here. What did you think about this matchup, Wendy?
Oh man, I was like, all right, first off, Seth's entrance was very Seth. I know yesterday, I think, who was it? I think my fiance, he said that Seth's outfit looked like the character from, I think I'm talking Ready to Rumble. I think that's the movie. Or whatever.
Jimmy King.
Jimmy King.
Yeah,
Jimmy King.
He was saying that he had that outfit look like Ready to Rumble. But like that whole entrance that he had, that's so very Seth. That's very Seth. It was great. And then like just anticipating like who was gonna be, you know. And then the fact that it was like Cody, I was just like, oh my God. Like I don't know why I had tears in my eyes. I was just like, why? Like, why am I having tears in my eyes? I was happy for him. And the thing that I'm very happy is the fact that Cody came back as who he wanted to be.
Yep.
Because if, you know, like obviously if creative or events wanted him to come back as, you know, dashing Cody Rhodes or Stardust or whatever, I don't think Cody would have accepted the deal. And I think this is how that meeting went. Like I wanted to come back, but I wanted to come back as myself. I wanted to come back as American Nightmare. with my theme music, this and that. Like, that's how I'm gonna come back. And I guess that's the fact that they agreed to it. And this is how, like, that's how he came back, you know, and it was great. Everything about that whole entrance with Cody was freaking amazing. Now, in regards to the match, oh my gosh, I was like, wow, this match was great. Like, holy crap. Like, I really enjoyed it. I love the tribute that he did. Like, he had little tributes. Like, obviously, when he did the move up that his brother does always, like, that was a cute little like tribute to Dustin. And when he did his bionic elbow tribute to his father, I thought that was great. I was like, wow. And I loved it. The fact that the fans cheered him, the fans were behind him. I love it. I really loved it.
Like that's the main thing, like what you said, like getting emotional in the moment, because you guys know my feelings on Cody. I ever since he flipped me off back in 2017 at a Ring of Honor event, I've had a feud with him that has been established on this channel, probably as much as my feud with The Undertaker for not retiring. But in that moment, seeing when the music hit and you heard wrestling has more than one royal family, I had my arms up, to the point that my missus came in the room and she was just like, I thought you hate him. But I was like, but he's here. Like, I feel happy for him. Like, I can't have any other emotion than feel happy for how he's been vindicated. This is a man that literally, the catchphrase is true. He was undesirable. They did not want him to be anything other than Stardust, even after the death of one of their greatest superstars ever in Dusty Rhodes, someone that was so influential to WWE, and especially the guys like performers like Seth Rollins that he brought up, and he was a student of. Like, he was so important, and they didn't want him to be Cody Rhodes. The fact that he went from undesirable to undeniable, and you saw it come to light, that phrase, and the fact that Vince McMahon chose him to be the opponent here. Like, that was the main thing on every call sheet. He was the guy Vince McMahon chose to be here. And we got Godless Scummer. Thank you so much for your super chat donation, saying Cody and Seth stole the show last night. I 100% agree with you. Brother Nate, what was your thoughts on Cody versus Seth?
First of all, I'd like to read a selection from the Book of Rhodes, chapter 3, verse 12. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of unemployment, I will not fear, because whoa, it's only smoke and mirrors to me.
Wait, one more time. Could you repeat that, brother, for everyone in the back that didn't hear that?
Everybody turn to the Book of Rhodes.
We're going to put you solo screen so you can repeat that for the people.
Yes, a good word on this Sunday morning. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of unemployment, I will not fear, for whoa, it's only smoke and mirrors to me.
Whoa, only smoke and mirrors. Amen, my brother. Testify.
Look here, brother Sid, sister Wendy. Let me tell you about this man, Cody Devontae Rhodes. This man, Cody Rhodes, beat racism. So Seth Rollins was light work. This was light work, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Rhodes, like, I got jokes for days, SP3, but in all seriousness, like, this is one of the most remarkable journeys that we've seen from a performer. Going from virtually a mid-card dude that wasn't getting a lot of shine in the WWE to this nomad. You know, he's in New Japan, he's in Ring of Honor, he's in Impact Wrestling, to the formation of AEW, which helps the entire business. Does what he does in AEW, then leverages that to come back to the WWE, not in his old spot, but at damn near the top of the card, complete with his presentation. You know, I think that's a great point that Wendy brings up. We got the Downstate song. We got the Cody Vader. We got, like, he's the same character from AEW, just plucked and plugged into this WWE. And I think to the match, like, that was a Cody match, man. Like, that was a Cody Rhodes match, like, through and through. You know, Cody's never going to be the best wrestler in the world, bell to bell, but he is one of the best storytellers in the business. And he told a story in that match. Like, think about how hard that is, right? Like, we get the debut of Cody, which a lot of people, well, most people, I guess, not a lot of people, but most people knew about. But to get a 20-minute match, like, I didn't think we were going to get that much from Cody, and for the crowd to never die throughout that match. You know, that's a credit to him. It's a credit to that man, Seth freaking Rollins. Like, I loved it. It was my match of the night, even more so than Bianca and Becky, which I also dug a lot. Like, and that's the big if. You know, now here's where we go to the negative, SP3. The big if. If they can keep up this momentum with Cody, if they can book him properly, you got a ready-made star right here, Vince McMahon. The question is, will Vince be petty? Because we know Vince McMahon stay on that petty street. Like, will Vince McMahon drop the ball with Cody Rhodes? Because I think he's a guy you could put in there with Roman Reigns, like at SummerSlam, and have a hell of a match with them two, man.
That's what I think. Like, in one weekend, I feel like WWE has created options to finally dethrone Roman Reigns, which they didn't have before this weekend. And just to give you my star rating, yeah, it was this was amazing. This was a WrestleMania classic. I gave it 4 3/4 stars, and I don't remember the last WWE match I gave that to. The last WWE match that was on the main roster that I gave that high of a rating for. Cody bookended his AEW career with 2 5-star matches with his brother Dustin at Double or Nothing 2019, which Wendy was there live for, and then that latter match with Sammy Guevara at Beach Break in January was a 5-star classic. This one was as close as you can get in WWE, and as close as you can get to WrestleMania 38 night 1 was what our brother drunk guy JJ was in. So let's bring in the man of 1,004 drinks, the man who is the live correspondent for True Heel Heat in Dallas, Texas. Here is drunk guy JJ.
Adrenaline and the soul. Something. Here comes what's good, guys? What's poppin'? How y'all feeling, man?
What's up, man?
What is good? What, brother Nate, man? I needed that in the morning, man. I woke up, I'm like, oh shit, the review. I had to hop out of bed, turn my swag on, and hop up on this podcast. How y'all feeling this morning?
We're doing great, sir.
Good,
you were
brother.
there last night at WrestleMania 38, night 1, 6th row, beautiful seats that you showed us on the watch along. What was your overall thoughts coming out of the event, and what time did you eventually go to sleep?
Oh my gosh. Okay. We can start with the show. Of course, Mania this year, I think we all talked about it for weeks, probably months now. Low expectations. But of course, me, who misses wrestling shows? To me, right? But low expectations going into Mania. It started off a little slow, which I'm kind of happy that happened because they got all the shit I didn't want to see out the way quick, and I honestly kudos to WWE because they knew the crowd was going to be hot, so they knew to put the stuff that wasn't really hyped or that we deemed that was good for that matter on first to have the crowd invested in it. So then they got to the shit that we cared about. The women's match, the Cody Seth, shit, they just kept going back and forth. Ronda, the Hall of Fame, it just kept on. So a very good WrestleMania. Very, very good. Night 1 was fucking, I would say almost great. Night 1 was fucking great. I'll say night 1 was great. It was a great night. Great night. Literally from from Bianca and Becky to the end of the show. Like that was great.
And it seems like this is like a theme. Like ever since they've gone to the 2-night WrestleMania, I feel like night 1 always is better than night 2. Yeah, like they did last year. Last year, night 1 was better. 36, you had the Boneyard match on night 1 and stuff like that. That's like the most memorable match from that empty arena WrestleMania. So what are you anticipating night 2 to deliver on the same level at night 1?
I'm anticipating night 2 for personal reasons. I'm not gonna set myself up for failure for my personal reasons. Before, again, like you said, before going into yesterday, I was more excited for night 2. I didn't even buy a ticket for night 1 originally. I wasn't gonna go. And until they switched Edge and AJ back, I was like, oh shit. Now I gotta go to main one. And so I ended up getting my ticket, and then they switch it back to main 2. So I was like, oh, whatever. So I would have been very upset at myself. I probably would have cried if I would have missed night 1. So it worked out perfectly. I enjoyed myself, lost my voice. Now I feel like shit this morning. As to answer your other question, I didn't go to sleep probably till like 3 something in the morning. And that's Dallas time, so that's 4 something.
Oh my God.
That
That seems to be the theme with everyone I talked to who went to the event. They didn't go to sleep until that time. We got Alan Weinstein in the chat who says we need the Church of Nate every week on True Hill Heat. You done booked yourself another podcast, Nate.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, much like Cody Rhodes.
I ain't been to church. I ain't been to church in Lord knows how long. I probably burn if I walk in there, but I felt the Holy Spirit this morning. So thank you,
CM says Cody, the ender of racism, versus Seth, the man who cheated with the Nazi. Okay.
Hey, Seth's fault.
Damn, you ain't had to go there, man.
Randall says definitely was a match of the night. We got John Elite who says with Cody showing up last night, who else from AEW do you see jumping ship to WWE? I'll get one from all of y'all. Wendy, who do you see jumping from AEW to WWE next? Based on what they do, it really depends on what they do with Cody post WrestleMania 38.
Marcos. Oh, go ahead, Wendy. I'll say mine's next.
Oh man, I don't know. Like I honestly don't know. I mean, I know like MJF wants to go to WWE and stuff, and that whole situation that's going on with him and Tony. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be the next person. Damn, but if I had to pick somebody to, I don't know. I really don't know. I can't. I don't know anyone from AEW that would want to go back to WWE. I would, MJF. I don't know.
I mean, MJF seems like the most obvious choice, Nate.
Yeah, MJF because he wants it, and that's something that I don't think a lot of them want. But if we're going off the board, like somebody who's not MJF, I'm gonna tell you, man. There's one dude that's got that second generation shine on him. Your boy SP3, WrestleMania 39, send Hook.
Oh,
Taz will disown that kid. You little shit.
It was like you give it up for adoption. We got Brett Thomas making the same point, saying Cody going to WWE opens the door for AEW guys to see how he is treated. It's a political move as much as anything else for me. So I mean, it's kind of something that he said, like he felt like it was the right time to go. He did great interviews with Variety as well as The Ringer, where he talked about his meeting with Vince McMahon. He met with Vince, Nick Khan, Bruce Pritchard, and he basically told them that he wants to be me. He wants to be him. And Vince McMahon basically told him in response, if it's not broke, don't fix it. He was like, this is what we're buying. And he said that felt like vindication for him. And we got that presentation, and that's the best thing that we could have asked for. And that was like, what was your experience being there live, hearing the entrance, and experiencing what I believe is one of the best WrestleMania moments in recent history?
Man, they had a couple great WrestleMania moments last night. Like, leaving night 1, those are certain moments from that show that you probably, well, not probably, we're going, as wrestling fans, we're going to remember forever. Cody's entrance, everything, the slow build to him coming out. I'm like, what the fuck is Undertaker coming? What is it going on? And then they cut the lights off, like how they do for Taker. And then they did the smoke. They still didn't play the music. I'm like, oh man, it's probably the Undertaker. And then the pyro goes off. They still wait, and then you hear wrestling. I was like, oh shit, it's Cody. People have to wait to hear the song to figure out. Well, until the screen came on, that said American Nightmare, which was fucking crazy. The way they had American Nightmare on that Mania stage with the little scratch letters, that shit was dope. Crowd went insane. Yeah, that's probably towards the time I lost my voice because I was singing this song. But yes, oh man, both fit. We talking about Cody, but that's not shit on Seth now. Seth's interest was fire.
Oh yeah. The choir. No. We talked about the choir and him coming out like a pastor's wife.
Creepy choir,
mixed with Jimmy King from Ready to Rumble. Yeah,
that's fire. That interest was just everything from that match was well done. The entrances, because me and you talked about this. I was always worried. Well, right, the whole chat. I was worried about the time they got for that match. I'm like, oh man, are they just gonna have Cody come in, be Seth to make a statement that he's here, whatever? But they didn't. They literally let them go out and do all that. Like they went fucking crazy. They went, yeah. So Cody was super over. He probably got I want to say outside of Stone Cold, probably the biggest pop of the night, which was expected because he came back. So yeah, that whole setup, that whole sequence, that whole match, that was amazing.
And back-to-back matches that I gave Becky and Bianca 4 1/4. I gave Seth and Cody 4 3/4. What did you think was the better match between those two?
And that's crazy because again, that's another match for Becky and Bianca. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do the whole quick squash. Because the way it started, I'm like, oh, Bianca about to win this fast. Nope, that did not happen. And they went out there and fucking killed it. And kudos to Bianca. She's had 2 banger women matches back to back at WrestleMania.
Yes. Two of the best all time at WrestleMania.
Absolutely, top tier. And she won the title back to back. Like, she's the first. Let's not forget, these are our first 2 WrestleManias. These are our first 2 WrestleManias. She put on those quality matches at that show. That's saying a lot. They went out there and killed it too. That was a fucking, again, great entrances, phenomenal match. For that match, I gave 4.5. I love that match. And for Seth and Cody, definitely 4 3/4 as well, because another great storyteller was Cody, Mr. Storyteller himself. Another great storytelling match.
And like they said, that was a Cody match. You could tell the layout and everything to that match. Yeah. You just put Seth Rollins in a Cody match and they delivered the fact.
Yeah.
And plus, Seth wrestles that style anyway, so it was easy. It's Mr. Tyler Black. This is not new to this, it's true to this. So
real quick though, shout out to Seth and Becky, man. Shout out to that whole household. For what they did for the culture. That's how you become an ally, ladies and gentlemen. They took 2 L's. Our white brothers and sisters, they took 2 L's so that the culture could rise up, and they gave those wins to Sister Bianca and Brother Cody Devontae Rhodes. So salute to the Rollins Lynch house.
To be honest, that's probably what happened. Seth went, Becky went backstage, probably gave Seth the kiss. Follow that.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
She did. She did. And he was like, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Cody was like, I got you, fam.
Y'all are great in the live chat. Remember to keep those live chats coming.
Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. I saw all of that, but I didn't want to fuck up the.
No.
Shout out to everybody. Thank you. I don't think I'm the best. I'm all right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
You are the best. You're always on location, foot's on the ground, wherever True Hero Heat is at. You are there. We got Big Mike who says Kenny Omega is going to be the next to jump ship. We got David Sparks who says MJF. We got Frantic World who says I can see Jericho going back for the Hall of Fame. Oh, that's good. That's a good point.
That's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, I can see that happening. They're already letting Billy Gunn work on the DX documentary, so I can see him even still being with AEW and going.
He was signed with AEW when DX went in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. We also got Will Chisholm who says, WWE want to get Jade so they can do the dream match with her and Bianca. Oh yeah. After Bianca is done with what seems to be her arc for WrestleMania right now, I think that would be a good one to go to next. We got Rachel joining us in the live chat. Thank you, joining us. I'm seeing a lot of the old faces joining us. We got Mark Lloyd, the #1 Julia Hart fan, saying, was the Hart family in attendance for the Hall of Fame? I'm not sure. Like I said, you can still try to get that Julia Hart OnlyFans going, like we said to you last year. And we also got Nick Jackson who says, not Cody Devontae Rhodes. Yes.
You got to put some respect on Pastor Rhodes' name.
Pastor Rhodes' name. That was a great scripture that you read from the book of Cody.
It's funny though, I was reading something last night. It was like, it's crazy if Cody returns to WWE and they bring out an HBCU band.
Yo, Cody opening door. Look, I'm gonna tell you because here's the thing. The one negative, we didn't get that New Day match last night, and I'm gonna tell you why we didn't get that New Day match. Because Cody saw what was going on. He was like, "No, I'm not gonna put my brothers in that cool down match spot. Not on my watch." My brothers is gonna open up night 2 of WrestleMania because that's what Cody means to the culture.
Cody is always thinking about the culture. That's why we love him. We got the Hall of Fame tribute next, where they highlighted the Steiners. They highlighted Chad with the Warrior Award, with his son being there and his wife. Honestly, I said that was one of the best Hall of Fame speeches I ever heard. And I cried remembering that, I met Chad and got to know him. So that was great.
Had a feud.
Had a feud with Chad on social media.
You feuding with everybody, SP3.
I broke down watching that with my missus. That was the first time I ever cried to a Hall of Fame speech. And of course, the big one, The Undertaker, got his nice little entrance, but he didn't give us the arms up at the end. I thought it was leading to that because they did the zoom in on his back. I thought he was gonna do
the crowd did it.
I bet they did. But next up, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. The baddest bitch on the planet, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, going up against the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair with the big pomp and circumstance type of entrance, the pyro outside of AT&T Stadium, wearing the Queen ring jacket there. That was a great robe by Charlotte. This one was physical. At times it was ugly, but it felt like a shoot fight at times because these girls, especially Charlotte with those chops to Ronda Rousey, you saw her chest was bruising. It was like she was versing Walter or Minoru Suzuki in this. They were beating each other's ass. You got the top rope arm drag from Ronda Rousey, which was a nice spot here. The figure 8 where Charlotte was trying to bend up Ronda's legs here. She reversed it. We got a lot of ankle lock attempts from Rousey throughout this one, trying to get the tap out victory, but she was playing to the crowd a little too much at times. Charlotte Flair reversed the ankle lock at one point, got one of her own, but then we had the ref bump. A ref bump that I was fearing would happen, because once it happened, I was like, I know what's about to go down, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier in this match, when the referee was up, Rousey hit the Piper's Pit, but Charlotte was too close to the ropes. The referee counted 3, but Charlotte's foot was on the rope, so he overruled it. Ronda Rousey was very upset by that, but after the spear to Little Nate, Ronda locked Charlotte in the armbar, which Charlotte immediately tapped out to. Ronda with the big smile on her face, she went to Little Nate to wake him up, and that's when Charlotte Flair landed the big boot to Rousey to get the victory. Charlotte Flair teaches everyone, you don't bet against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I have done this 3 different times, and I have learned the same lesson. WrestleMania 32, I thought Sasha was going to win the 3-way with Becky Lynch. I thought that Asuka would continue her streak and win the SmackDown Women's title, and I thought that Ronda Rousey was, of course, going to win the SmackDown title, but Charlotte taught me a lesson here. You don't bet against the Queen. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I really liked it. I just felt like the finish was lackluster, and we got to also mention Charlotte Flair now has the most Mania wins by a woman ever. Nate, what did you think?
Oh man, okay, so I know Chris Rock is probably a touchy subject right now in some circles, but Charlotte at WrestleMania, it reminds me of that Chris Rock movie Head of State, right? So long story short, Chris Rock stars as a city councilman who ends up running for president, and he tries to bait the president into a debate. He's like, I thought I told you that we won't stop. Thought I told you that we won't stop. That's Charlotte Flair. Every time SP3 bets against her at WrestleMania, I thought I told you that we won't stop. Because here's the thing, man. I knew the fix was in as soon as we got the Charles Robinson 3 count, the visual 3, and then waving it off. I'm like, oh, here we go. This was a solid match. I think it suffered from a couple things. Number one, the finish, as you mentioned, was a little wonky, and it kind of made Ronda look dumb in some aspects. The second thing is I think that crowd was spent, man. From back-to-back Bianca and Becky and then Cody and Seth, I think the crowd was pretty much dead until the finish of this match. Hindsight being 2020, this is a match I would have moved to night 2. Because it doesn't make any sense why we've got both of our big women's matches on night 1, and the only thing we have on night 2 for the ladies is a tag team scramble match that not a lot of people are into. So I would have moved Charlotte and Ronda tonight too. That being said, like you said, SP3, it was physical. I like that they were telling the story of both of them going for their submissions. We saw somebody counter the figure 8, which we really haven't seen to this point. And this is all just to set up the running back, man. Like, we know every year at WrestleMania, there's at least 1 or 2 matches that keep, get forwarded to the next month's pay-per-view or premium live event. And that's what this was, So Charlotte at WrestleMania, come on now. Like DraftKings don't even take those odds on that, man. Like, they know it's a dummy move to bet against the Queen at WrestleMania. Don't do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed. Wendy, what did you think about Charlotte and Ronda here? And the outcome, of course.
I'll be honest. You're right. Never go against the Queen. I learned my mistake. I messed up. I should have changed it right before yesterday. I'm like, damn, I should have chose the Queen. Oh. I thought the match was okay, to be honest. I'm surprised that Charlotte didn't really do like this huge like entrance like she did last year? When she had that match with Becky and Ronda, when she came in from the helicopter, I thought she was going to do something really big.
Yeah.
So like when she came out, like, very simple with her robe and stuff. Well, the robe was beautiful. Her gear was great. I was like surprised. I was like, okay, like, it kind of didn't really feel like this was like, it didn't feel big. It didn't feel like the Queen, So I was just like, okay. And then the match, like, there were certain parts that was really good. They're going over their submissions and stuff like that. The ending was like, really? Like, I don't know. It felt like it wasn't the match that it didn't live up to the potential that we were so excited to see, because we're like, oh, we wanted to see this match. We wanted to see this Ronda versus Charlotte. Like, how is this going to go? And it didn't live up to that. And I agree with Brother Nate. I feel like they should have put it for night 2. Like if they wanted to like kind of match up with night 1, I felt like they should have put that match for night 2. Because then it's like it'll give you that anticipation, like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to see the Charlotte versus Ronda match. Like, I want to see how this is gonna go and stuff like that. But I thought it was okay. Like, there were certain moments that it was really good, but I don't know. It just, to me personally, it didn't really live up to what I wanted, to be honest.
I can understand that for sure, because, yeah, I mean, the finish kind of made it a little bit lackluster, because Ronda Rousey losing to just a big boot doesn't make any bit of sense. But Drunk Guy JJ, what did you think being there live?
It's funny to piggyback off of Wendy and my good brother up there, Nate. A lot of people going into this match, from what I've seen, from what I've been looking at, or what I've heard from people, a lot of them weren't excited for, they weren't excited for the match. Mm-hmm. So even if they did go out there and have a banger, a lot of people were already not invested and cared. And then fucking a big fight broke out at the damn stadium.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Everybody was focused on that, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. So again, that happened, but I enjoyed the match personally. It was a stiff beating the shit. This is the second time. Cause remember Survivor Series when they had their match, and then they beat the shit out of each other, both matches. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I love the way they go into their matches, and I'm totally fine with that. I kind of knew once Becky and Bianca had that moment, that match, that this wasn't gonna be that. This was gonna be something else. Mm-hmm. So I still had Ronda winning, but I thought it was just gonna be a different kind of like match. So I already expected that when everything happened. But they still did their thing. They still beat the shit out of each other. But the problem I had, of course, was the finish. Finish was stupid. Ronda is not that. Ronda is that strong, dominant type of female in WWE. You don't lose to a big boot. Charlotte could have used the belt. She could have did something else to end that match. Having Ronda lose to a big boot, it didn't make sense to me. I kind of would have had this at 4 stars pushing that, like 3 3/4, but that finish fucked it up. But of course, I see what they were trying to do. Of course, still make Ronda look strong. They don't want to. It's Ronda Rousey, so they don't want to fuck that up. But that finish to that match could have been done much better. If it was going to do like a screw kind of finish, Charlotte could have hit her with the belt. I can't say low blow because she doesn't have a penis. But they could have definitely did something else.
Whatever happened to some good old fashioned brass knuckles, man? Bring that back.
Something. I would have made more sense for her to crack her with the belt.
And that's right up Ric Flair's playbook. It's the brass knuckles. That would have made a lot of sense.
Or she could have like just used the belt and like hit, where Ronda's weak spot is. I mean, and then like do her finishing move, or
the
something.
natural selection after she hits her with the belt.
Yeah, and Brett makes a great point here. But if Ronda versus Charlotte was on first last night, it would have had more fan buzz. They put those ladies in the worst position of the night.
Weird.
Every other this match, these matches were so well paced, and that's why I kind of dig what y'all are saying about if it was on night 2, it would have stood out more because you can't follow like what Becky and Bianca did because the matches before that basically were so well placed that this felt like a first main event of the night for WrestleMania. So that had that type of buzz. Then you had Cody with his moment. That's why I said it was down. Yeah, I saw what they were trying to do with like the Hall of Fame placements and the video packages between Cody and Seth and this match, but it just wasn't enough time for the crowd to recover because they also had in the back of their mind, well, I gotta save some energy for Stone Cold, so I'm not gonna give all my energy to this. And then, like you said, a fight broke out at the stadium. There was so much working against them in this one, like. And we got a question from Pete Leighton who says, why was there a fight in the crowd?
I'm assuming it was 2 drunk motherfuckers. There was a lot of drunk idiots. There's a lot of drunk idiots at wrestling shows regardless. Of course, it being Mania and the fact that they bring you your drink to your seat, you don't even have to leave.
Yeah.
I'm sure that doesn't help. As you know, when I jumped on the freaking the watch along last night, I had a drunk idiot next to me. His ass kept going back and forth to go grab beers. It was annoying. So yeah, man, it was crazy. And somebody got thrown out before you even get in the arena. How you show up to the arena drunk and then the cops escort you out? I would be hurt.
How drunk do you have to be to get thrown out of an arena in Texas?
Exactly. Before you even get in.
That's next level. That's next level, ladies and gentlemen. The deal saying crowd was spent by this match and just wanted to get to Stone Cold. You guys are great in the comments. Remember to drop a thumbs up on the video. It helps us out so much. And of course, your super chat donations are greatly appreciated. Last call for super chats because we got to get into the main event of the night, which was the KO show with Kevin Owens hosting with the nice slick KO Mania 6 t-shirt here. Just love it. Yeah, great stuff. We had him do a whole promo on Texas leading to Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out, and I love it because I called it when he got to the middle of the stage. I was like, he gonna be like, I ain't walking this aisle, let me go get my ATV. Went back, got his ATV, did a few loops around. He was doing the typical Stone Cold entrance, and then Kevin Owens stopped him. He stopped him. He said, enough of this. He was like, sit down, Steve. I just want to talk to you. As Austin tore up the set throughout the KO show stuff. And then he basically told him that he tricked Stone Cold. He tricked Stone Cold to get here to challenge him to a no-holds-barred match. And Austin said, do you want to see Stone Cold accept this challenge? Give me a hell yeah. And for the first time in 19 years, Stone Cold Steve Austin went one-on-one in a professional wrestling match. And boy, oh boy, did they give us something memorable. This was a brawl all through and through. Both men coming out with the strikes at first. They fought into the crowd. Goddamn, Stone Cold he took a goddamn suplex on concrete, ladies and gentlemen, on concrete. I did not think any of this would go down the way it did. Austin put KO through a table at ringside, beat his ass all over the ringside area. KO at one point got an advantage and tried to steal Stone Cold's ATV. Austin got him and took him for a joyride up the stage, gave him a suplex on the stage. We then got KO pulled out a Stone Cold Stunner back in the ring, as Austin throughout this whole thing was just was doing a public service announcement and advertisement for his new lager, his new beer, as he was drinking throughout this one. But of course, it was Austin with the Stone Cold Stunner in the end who got the win over Kevin Owens. And what a moment it was. The fans were so ecstatic. The fans were on their feet for this entire moment. We got the beer bath afterwards. Austin fans all over, which so excited. The cameras were everywhere. Of course, he had to get one more Stone Cold Stunner on KO at the end. And then he even invited Byron Saxton into the ring as a callback to the first pandemic Raw and laid his ass out with the Stone Cold Stunner as well. Stone Cold shared a beer with his brother at the end as Austin rode off into the sunset to end WrestleMania 38 Night 1 in such a wonderful way. Drunk Guy JJ, you were there live. Great pictures, by the way, that you had of Stone Cold last night. What was your thoughts on this main event?
Wow. Fuck. Shit. I don't know. It's just a lot. A lot of people cried. A lot of people crying. Not me. A lot of people were crying. So it was great to see. It's so funny because I think I've only seen Stone Cold wrestle one time, and that was my first show. That was 1988. I haven't seen Stone Cold since. So it's so crazy. In 2022, we got a Stone Cold match. You know, I thought it was gonna be like a quick little, schmaz. He stomps him up a little bit. KO gets a little comeback. He reverses Stunner. We get him out of there. These motherfuckers went at it for 15 minutes.
They had a 14-minute match, 14 minutes and change.
These motherfuckers went at it. I was the bump, the concrete. I was like, oh shit. I got everything I expected, and actually, I got everything I expected and more from this. Which was basically the theme of night one. I got everything else like over exceeded my expectations. Exceeded my expectations. Excuse me. Great match. Crowd was hot. Nobody sat down. Literally the whole from once Stone Cold came out, nobody sat down. Everything was perfect. I'm happy for KO because this is a dream for him, and for a multitude of reasons. So I guess him re-signing paid off already.
He made the right decision, guys. Yeah. He made the right decision.
Yeah, great brawl. Basically a typical Stone Cold match. Brawl, weapons, fight to the crowd, stomp a couple mud holes. He stuns him, gets a stunner from somebody or some nonsense, and send the crowd home happy. Yeah, man, that was wow. I'm still in shock now. I'm thinking about it again. Like we really that really happened last night. In 2022, I just saw Stone Cold wrestle. That's crazy. Definitely a great brawl. In one
show, you saw AEW Cody Rhodes and Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestle in a ring.
That was great. That was fun. I guess because of his age and everything standards, I will put that match higher. But compared to everything else, but that was definitely a great moment, a great main event, a great way to end the show. I'll give it 4 stars.
I gotta agree with you. That was memorable. I gave it 4 stars as well. Wendy, what did you think?
Oh man, it just it puts me like back in the Attitude Era days. Like, oh, like this was like little, like young me watching, one of the greats. When they first talked about like doing this whole talk show, like he was gonna invite Austin to be in his show, I'm like, damn well this gonna end in the fight. Like, damn well this gonna fight. It ain't gonna be just a normal talk show. So I wasn't surprised when he basically was just like, oh, I tricked you into coming here. We're gonna have a match. I'm like, all right, this is what I wanted to see. And I'm very surprised with Stone Cold because of his age, because of his body, I didn't really think he was going to be able to take a bump. So that bump that he had on the concrete, I was like very surprised. I was like, oh, okay. It's probably, it makes me think like, oh, like probably Stone Cold, obviously he was training for it, so I thought that was really good. Like the match, like between them, it was great. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, this was giving me very like, I was like, it made me travel. It made me think I was back in time and I'm watching freaking Stone Cold on a pay-per-view show during the Attitude Era. Like it was giving me that, and I really liked it. I really liked it. I was very surprised with Austin. It was very memorable. I agree with you guys. That match was very memorable, and the fact that KO, it was one of those dream matches that he wanted to have. I thought it was great. I was happy for both of them. I give credit to both of them. They did do their part.
This man, Kevin Owens, was told once about 20 years ago by CM Punk that he, like what he said to Eddie Kingston during their feud, that back when he met them, he saw Kevin Owens, saw all the potential, but he was like, you're lazy and you're wearing a t-shirt and you're wearing basketball shorts. That's never going to work on the big time. And now Kevin Owens has done the two things CM Punk wanted to do most in his WWE career: main event WrestleMania and have a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. And he did it all in his t-shirt and his basketball shorts. There's winning, and then there's Kevin Owens after last night. What did you think?
Here's the thing. I'm not John Pollock or Dave Meltzer or Wade Keller or Sean Ross Sapp, any of these cats, but I do have some exclusive reporting to let everybody know this morning. So apparently, like to Wendy's point, like originally this was just going to be a talk show segment, right? Mm-hmm. And at most we were just going to get a stunner, but apparently Cody Rhodes formed a prayer circle backstage, laid hands on Steve Austin's knees and his neck, and gave him the power to compete for 14 minutes in the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time, SP3. And that's why we got Stone Cold in a legitimate match, man. Like, all seriousness, man, like I thought at most we getting a stunner, some beers, but to see Stone Cold go out there and do an actual match at his age, in his condition, with everything that he's been through, I thought it was amazing, man. Like, yeah, you can nitpick here and there on some things, but that ain't what this match is about, man. This ain't about star ratings. This ain't about technical acumen. This is about one of the best to ever do it in the WWE or anywhere else, doing it one more time, like damn near 20 years later. Since you know what I'm saying? Like for him to come out and give that kind of performance, man, you have to be happy. It took a lot of us back to our childhoods, man. It took a lot of us back to when we was growing up watching wrestling during the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars and everything. And like Stone Cold has always been one of my favorites, man. Like I wasn't even going to drink last night because I knew we had to be up this morning for service early. But after that match, man, I had to throw back two of them Steve Weisers. It wasn't Broken Skull IPA because we ain't got that out here in Virginia yet. But like, man, that was a great moment, man. A great way to end night one of WrestleMania. And honestly, no disrespect to our brother Roman Reigns and them on night two, but I'm good with WrestleMania. Like if the show didn't happen tonight, no disrespect to my man JJ who got them tickets. But if they canceled the show tonight and said we can't do it, I'm good with WrestleMania this year between Bianca and Becky, Cody and Seth, Charlotte and Ronda, and then Stone Cold and KO. Like that's WrestleMania, man. Like I was so pleased. It did exceed my expectations. Like when the WWE wants to do good, they can do good, and they did good last night.
Unfortunately for me, all my favorites are night two, so I need them.
I think your two favorites are going to be in good matches tonight. So real quick around the table in like a couple of seconds, what match or what are you expecting the most, looking forward to the most from night two of WrestleMania? Wendy?
Let's see, night two. I mean, I know a lot of people would say the Tribal Chief versus Brock Lesnar, but I am going to say Edge versus AJ Styles.
Ooh, okay.
I'm in agreement with Wendy. That's the match I'm looking forward to from tonight for sure. Nate?
I mean, Edge AJ should be good. Like it has no reason not to be good. But the match for me is Roman and Brock. I will give honorable mention to a brother that Professor Chris, we mentioned him earlier, has been slandering on these streets for months and months. And that's our good brother Omos, who is going to step up tonight against Bobby Lashley. He going to bring home the dub. Shout out to all the Homo sapiens out there. It's the big fella's time.
Homo sapiens. That's the new. We using that. We using that, Nate.
Full disclosure, though, like I love that line. It's not mine. Respect to the nephew, youngest in charge, Andrew Thompson, who hit me with that the other day. He was like, "Yo, we need to start these Homo sapiens out here. Let them know that the big fella is his time."
Homo sapiens. I gotta use that now. Drunk guy.
Well, that, of course, AJ, Edge. I have another thing that in my mind, so I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to jinx it and then be let down. But in my head, as a net, would definitely Edge AJ. I'm just gonna say Edge AJ.
That's a good one to go with. Wendy?
Can I just add something? Like, I think, okay, so I chose Edge and AJ as like the match that I'm anticipating. Hopefully that match goes well. But if I had to pick another match, like as entertaining, I'm very anticipating seeing how entertaining Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Okay. I want to see how that's going to go. Like, because we don't even know how Johnny is. Like, we don't know how he is wrestling wise, and he's another celebrity. Yeah. So we don't know how
the bar done been raised, Johnny Knoxville. You got to be as good as Logan Paul.
Exactly. So, like, we don't know how he's going to be. And obviously, like, Sammy's probably going to carry, he's probably going to carry it. But I want to see how entertaining it's going to be. So that would be, like, an honorable mention. But, yeah, I want to see AJ versus Edge, especially the entrances. I want to know how that's going to go, especially how Edge is now, his character. Yeah. Like
with the new theme and everything. So let's put our thumbs in the middle. I think this is an easy one for night one of WrestleMania 38 in 3, 2, 1. As expected, thumbs up all around. Very quickly, match of the night, Nate.
Match of the night, with all respect to Bianca and Becky and Stone Cold and KO. It's Cody Devontae Rhodes, who came back, led the WWE to the mountaintop. Praise Cody.
Praise him and his name. Drunk guy, you were there live. Who do you got?
Oh, definitely Cody and Seth. Not by a wide margin either, but definitely Cody and Seth.
By the slimmest of margins. Wendy?
Oh, man. Between Becky and Bianca and Cody and Seth. All right. I'm gonna go with I mean, everybody's gonna go with Cody and Seth, but you know what? I want to give it to Bianca and Becky just because how it all went down. Like, I really enjoyed that match. So Becky and Bianca.
I'm also gonna go with Cody and Seth. MVP, my MVP. I want to go with Cody, but I just gave him match of the night. I'm going with Kevin Owens. Even though he lost in the main event, that man is winning. He got the bag and got his dream match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Wendy, who you got as MVP?
I'm going to go Cody. I'm going to go Cody. Definitely MVP.
Drunk guy?
Seth.
I'm going to go
Cody
with
and Seth.
Yeah.
I want to go with my fellow Taurus brethren, Kevin Owens. Like you said, he got the bag. He sold his ass off for Stone Cold. He got Stone Cold out of retirement for WrestleMania main event.
In Texas.
Nobody can take that. He can go on and lose every match for the rest of this year. He can bank off still saying that he made event at WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin in Texas, of all places. Kevin Owens. And so I gotta say Stone Cold too, man. The guy was 57 years old.
Yeah.
He went out there. Literally, he didn't look gassed. He was just whooping Kevin Owens' ass. Took a sick bump on his neck of all people. Yeah, I'm gonna do KO and Stone Cold.
Yeah. So you perfect setup right there, brother. Because I'm going Cody and Stone Cold. Because Cody, to go from where he was when he left WWE to where he was last night, you got to give all respect to that brother. And then Stone Cold, like you said, to be that age, he must have been watching that man called Sting. He's like, you know what, I could do this just one more time. Yep. And he sold all the beer. Like, I don't even know where you can get this damn Stone Cold beer, but when it goes on sale, it's sold out because of last night, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm surprised he didn't stun his own brother.
Yo, that would have been
I know what's
crazy.
funny. I thought about it. I'm like, nah, he's not gonna stun his brother. That's
I was like, why?
That would've been
Like
crazy.
when Saxon came out, I was like, why? But I was like, okay. I was like, all right, he got some.
He said I can stun the brothers, but not my brother.
Yeah, that would have been funny though.
LVP, this is a hard one because the only match that I said wasn't really good was the opener, but that had to do with more of the injury. But Drunk Guy, who was your LVP?
It's funny you say that because I was about to say MVP, but I'm like, that would have been bad taste because it's not his fault. So let me not say Rick Boogs. Who lost tonight? I don't know. Damn. God damn, this is crazy. Like who really?
I'm gonna shock everybody here.
Yeah,
LVP of the night was based on the booking of her, not her performance. I thought she had a good match. Ronda Rousey. She should not be losing to a big boot. Nate.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna go the finish of that match because it really and also like honestly the placement of that match on night one in general because it really should have been separate from the other matches so that it could stand out a little bit more. So yeah, that's my LVP.
Wendy.
I was gonna say, yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like the LVP was definitely the ending. Well, not the ending, but I would say like the match was good itself. It was okay, but I would say that match, the Charlotte versus Ronda match, because you know after Becky and Bianca and then Cody and Seth, like a lot of it felt like we weren't really that excited for Ronda and Charlotte. If they would have just put it for night 2, I feel like everybody would have been a little bit more like, you know, oh, I'm excited for this match. I'm anticipating. So I say that match between them.
So you had time to think about it, Drunk.
Yeah,
who you got?
Trust me. It's funny because now literally once I said I like, damn, that's true. Like the build up to that match was bad. They lost their main event spot. I'm not gonna give it to Charlotte and Ronda per se, but definitely the finish of that match. So I would say, yeah, Ronda should not be losing unless Charlotte got a strong ass foot. I don't know, but yeah, Ronda Rousey for that finish. Yeah.
I'm sad that we had to do that to Ronda, but yeah, the booking and the finish just didn't work. Brother
I'll give
Nate,
Sasha LVP too before it's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true.
Dang.
Brother Nate, thank you so much for being our special guest on our WrestleMania 38 Night 1 Roundtable review. Please let the people know where they can catch you, your podcast, and everything you're doing, good brother.
I appreciate you for having me, man. Like, it's always a good time when we're able to make our schedules work and connect. So shout out to you and JJ and Wendy and everybody watching this morning, the congregation, if you will. So if you want to hear more from me, you can check me out primarily at Post Wrestling, where I am one of the hosts of the N.W.A. podcast, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates, alongside Chris from LA, the professor, and the youngest in charge, my nephew, Andrew Thompson, who's probably just waking up right about now out there in Dallas. Hydrate, nephew. Get you some water, some aspirin. You're going to be all right for night 2, my brother. But yeah, so I got the NWA podcast, the Rocky Maivia Picture Show, also at Post Wrestling, the Kings of Sport, which is coming up on its 300th episode later this month. SP3 has been on the Kings of Sport, so we've got our big 300th episode tentatively planned for April 21st. So y'all do whatever y'all want to do on the 20th, but make sure you write for the 21st because that's going to be the Kings of Sport 300th episode. So again, man, shout out to all of y'all for having me. It's always a good time. If you want more from me, the Twitter's right down there, man. At N.W.A, MOZAIK, at Nate Mosaic on Twitter. And I hate to plug and run SP3, but you know, I gotta go to that shoot job, man.
Exactly.
Unlike Cody, I ain't got the bag like Cody. I ain't selling beer like Stone Cold out here on these streets. So pleasure doing this show with y'all. And y'all rest up because I feel like night 2, man. It's gonna be a long night, but it's gonna be a good night.
I like that Rocky Maivia Picture Show, man. That's fucking clever as hell. I like that a lot.
Thank you so much, Brother Nate. We're going to see you once again, but get to that shoot job. That's why we had to get you plugged in first. Wendy, thank you so much for waking up. You were a part of the watch along gang from yesterday, but you
Yes.
woke up and you joined us for the review. Let the people
Mhm.
know where they can follow you as well.
You can follow me on Instagram at evelise2anyone. I pop in on the Rated Raw Superstars, as well as AEW watch-alongs, pay-per-view watch-alongs. I don't join by myself. I join with my lovely fiance, True Draw Josh, who is not here right now. He's at a football convention. I'll definitely be on later tonight for WrestleMania Night 2 watch along, so you can catch me there. No creeps, no losers, no weirdos. Please, none of that. Come on, no.
No way.
The fam
Y'all already
will
know.
jump you. The fam will
Yes, y'all
jump you.
already know. But yeah, you can catch me there. So
Drunk Guy, let the people know where they can find you and your YouTube channel, which I know is going to have plenty of entrances from WrestleMania.
Yeah, I
38
was
night
doing it at the show. Follow me on Instagram, Hacksaw_J_Duggan, Twitter, Drunken Master JJ, Facebook, my name is my name. It looks like a lot of you have found me. Also, of course, you already know where the gang is at. Oh yeah, my YouTube, where I post like a bunch of live entrances if I don't get copyright claims and my shit clipped off, since that was becoming a thing lately.
That's why he does it on his channel, ladies and gentlemen, and not here.
AEW, but anyway, yeah, of course, you know where the rest of the gang is at: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon. That's a shoot. That's real. Twitch. I think that's a shoot too. That's real. Pornhub, Xvideos, clapcheeks.com. They don't like beatmymeat.com, so you have to cancel that. We have to cancel that website. We just everywhere, man. We do what we do, man. OnlyFans, we trying to get that Tony Storm money. We got OnlyFans popping, you know, we all over, man. We all over the world, man. Just doing our thing.
Only Drunk Guy. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TrueHillHeat, as well as twitch.tv/True Hill Heat Wrestling, where we're going to have more watch alongs. We're going to have more video game content. I know Drunk Guy wants to start playing WWE 2K over on the Twitch machine, so we're getting things started. We're only 3 followers away from 50 on Twitch, so go over there. If you don't have a Twitch or do have a Twitch, go over there, make one, and follow us over there so you can show your support there as well. And of course, like this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Like Wendy said, we're going live at 6 p.m. Eastern time with our WrestleMania Night 2 watch along with special guests, Fightful's own Kate Elizabeth. She's going to be joining the gang to watch Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, RK Bro defending the Raw Tag Team titles in a 3-way, Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, and the match me and Wendy are looking forward to the most, AJ Styles versus Edge, as well as Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. There's a lot to enjoy. Sasha Banks will be there for Drunk Guy as well.
Absolutely.
And then we're going live tomorrow at about, I believe it's 11:05 a.m. Eastern time. As of now, that might change as we do the watch along tonight, but we got our WrestleMania 38 Night 2 Roundtable review with Mr. WWE himself, Louis Dangor of Give Me Sports. So join us live tomorrow for that as well. And then 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, we end off our WrestleMania week of content with Romeo Mania. Wendy will be there. Maybe Drunk Guy, I don't know. You're going to be at Raw?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm Raw, so I might pop in and tell Romeo happy birthday.
There we go. He's going to pop in maybe during a commercial, and we're going to be joined by a special guest, Servant Facing Heels' own Stephanie Hypes. Be on the lookout for another episode of Servant Facing Heels on Friday this week, but this is going to be the end of our WrestleMania week of content. We want to thank everyone who has joined us for all the live streams. It's been a great week so far. Only about 2 or 3 more live streams before we end things off. I want to thank Nate Milton for being our special guest. Thank you, Wendy, for getting up and joining us. Thank you, Drunk Guy, boots on the ground in Dallas, Texas. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. Enjoy WrestleMania 38 Night 2 tonight. And this has been our WWE WrestleMania 38 Night 1 Roundtable review. We are signing off until next time. Oh hell yeah!